Yo, Opus, we're live.
Hey, hey, hey. Who here's never been to this show before? You've all been here, eh? Just one, just you. You want to win some marijuana today? All right. Welcome to the show. I got to fix this mic here. It keeps falling down on me.
Well, this is my official first Opus Live in Toronto, actually. Like, I've watched online when you've done stuff from Vancouver, but this is actually my first one in Toronto.
So you're not just watching your first one in Toronto, you're on your first one in Toronto.
I'm on my first one in Toronto. So that's, I start at the top.
Welcome, Tracy Curley here today, folks. Thanks for coming on, Tracy. Guest hosting today, helping out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm trying to find us on live stream so I can watch the chat, but I'm getting there.
All right. Yeah, just make sure you talk into the mic. Everyone can hear.
VaporCentral.com/livestream has a good chat window.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Excellent. And you got the iPad or whatever up there? If I can get that, guys.
Yeah, we'll bring that up to you.
Thanks.
We already got someone on Skype that has been trying to call in, Linda Northcott.
All right, well, hey, the Skype lines are open here on Opus Live, and so, sure, put her up.
Okay, she just called back in right now. Let me just pull it up and get the frame set.
It's time to grow, so I hope she got a grow question. Hey, there she is.
There she is, perfect.
Are we good to go?
Yeah, we're good. We can hear you.
You can hear? Hi. Yep. For you that don't know me, I'm Linda Northcott, Edmonton East Marijuana Party, going liberal, I hope. Anyways, I'm here to tell my story today because of the law changing here.
Did you have a grow question today?
Pardon me?
Are you Skyping in with a growing question, or did you just want to tell a story?
Well, it's a growing question, Mike. I'll let you know. Hi, how are you?
Good to hear from you.
Here's the growing question for you, because if that's all you're taking, then that's all I'll give you.
All right.
Okay, the growing question is, how did designated growers get picked to be producers? Because they were solicited individually.
Can we get you to just turn the volume down in the background because it's creating an echo effect?
Sure.
Were you asking how designated growers are selected under the MMAR or the MMPR?
Okay, now can you hear me better?
Yeah. Is it for the? Are you asking about the new program or the existing or about to be ending program, the MMAR?
Okay, the existing growers that are on the present program. I've been solicited by a few of them for consultation because they are also being solicited by the producers.
Okay. Well, I know that
And where is that authority coming from? I'm seeing no evidence of authority here from Health Canada at all.
Well, Health Canada is getting out of the medical marijuana program. That's kind of the whole point of the new program.
One second.
Yeah.
I've got a dog. One sec.
That's okay. I left a very tiny chihuahua at home. I completely understand.
Sorry about that. I had a dog problem there.
I mean,
Have you guys heard anything about it? Like, I've contacted, being in Alberta, not being a grower myself, I'm not contacted by anyone about anything. And when I have information or require information, I'm not getting it from anyone. I myself am on the program after 30 years with federal and provincial governments, and I feel that I'm being violated by everyone. And these growers, great that you can grow, great that you're able to grow, and I think everyone should be able to grow, sure. Mm-hmm. But how come all of a sudden certain designated growers, DGs from the program, have been solicited and others have been dropped, and compassion houses have been dropped?
Well, unfortunately, when the government announced the new program, and now as we're getting closer and closer to that date coming into effect, April 1st, there's a lot of people, myself included, have been approached by numerous individuals people are scrambling to try to secure a foothold or a niche, so as you may say, in this new program. I mean, they're talking about a lot of money involved, which is always going to get people's attention. So once you mention the big dollars.
But I'm finding the movement is the same way, Mike.
Okay. Kind of what the situation is I mean, under the old program it was up to the patient to choose their own designated grower.
Yeah.
So that was, I mean, it was up to individuals. You had to find a grower that you could trust, and trust me,
Right.
even myself, I've been in this industry for a decade. I am connected, I'm informed, and even I got ripped off by my first grower. So
Right.
obviously Health Canada is getting sick and tired of getting these phone calls from patients saying, hi, I can't get my meds, I've been ripped off, because
Yeah.
Health Canada wasn't helping patients at all in that situation. Neither were the police. There was no recourse for the patients. So now you're talking about under the new corporate laws, there are only 5 at this. I didn't check today, but last time I checked, there were 5 licensed producers under the MMPR announced.
There's 6.
There's 6 now. Who's the 6th?
Yeah, there sure is. There's 6.
Can
Anyways,
you know,
what I wanted to add for you guys is what Blair Longley wrote to me last April, and it's coming true. And it says there are, within the movement of the growers, the individuals on it, and Health Canada, there's 3 different groups, and it seems like
All right,
everyone's
we're
either
way-
hiding or
we're
doesn't
way
want
off
to talk to anyone else
We're
anymore.
way off topic here. I got to
Yeah.
stop you because
I'm trying to kind of answer the question. Is that, I mean, there are over 300 applications being sent into Health Canada, people that want to commercially produce marijuana for the market.
So what do we do?
Of course, growers.
How do we help?
Hang on,
I'm trying
please.
to answer your question.
Stop. Slow down there.
So, of course, there are growers that are being solicited by these companies because what you've got is big business coming in and they don't know anything about marijuana. So what do? You hire experts.
And that's
that's why growers are being solicited by these companies. It's not anything new. That's how big
People are
business
scrambling
works.
in this industry now to establish themselves as growers, and they're coming from all different angles. A lot of these so-called DGs that people were asking were people who had a lot of money at the time and were actually buying up or getting a lot of licenses and growing for a whole lot of people all at once. They're trying to flip those businesses, that investment, into becoming licensed producers. That's what's going on right now. Who picks them? That's not up to me. That's up to the government. And you'll have to take that up with the government, not us, because, I'm not the guy who's in charge. I wish I was. Send me your application, and I'd say everybody can grow pot. Absolutely,
I just
go
want
ahead.
to make a clarification.
Yeah, but for me,
grower,
like I don't grow it, and I need a DG.
Well,
no, you need a
month.
No,
I don't have one.
That's what I'm trying to answer. There's a difference here between a DG and a licensed producer.
Yeah.
So a designated grower is someone you could designate to grow for you under the MMAR program, so under the Medical Marijuana Access Regulations. Because those rules are now being abolished, there will no longer be designated growers. There will be licensed producers. Licensed producers will hire staff to grow for them. They're not called DGs anymore. They're just called gardeners.
Yeah.
So me as an activist, where do I put my thought? Where do I put my power? Because I've got 3 weeks and I'm a done deal and I require it daily.
I do as well. I've received my last shipment from my DG. It was a really sad day I didn't actually even want to open the package because I knew it was the last one. I don't know where I'm getting my meds from either. I've started calling the licensed producers and asking them questions about what strains they're carrying, what the costs are involved.
Anyone I call, there's no answer.
And all you can do at this point is you call Health Canada and you call the licensed producers and you ask the same questions you would ask your DG. Yep. What strains are you growing?
They're asking me. They're coming to me. What should I do?
What? Bedrocan is coming to you?
Who's coming to you? Who?
These large companies are coming to you?
I have designated growers coming to me asking me what they should do because there's nothing in writing.
Are they DGs just contacting you out of the blue, or are they licensed or want to be licensed producers? That's the question.
No, they are licensed producers.
Okay, so they're not DGs then, they're LPs.
You need
you.
You need to understand what the difference is. Under the medical marijuana access regulation, if I have someone who is currently growing for me, I have a designated grower.
We can't.
Under
I don't
the
want
new program, it's called the licensed producer. You're not, unless you're being contacted by a large corporation, a CEO of a large corporation, you are not being contacted by a grower under the new program.
No.
We're gonna move on from here. We're gonna move on from this,
the
actually.
DGs have a choice.
This is just going around in a circle here. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Call in again. You were a great guest. That was awesome.
Appreciate the call, but I mean, we're just going around and around in circles here. I think we've answered your question, and I appreciate the call.
The DGs have a choice. They either continue to grow and break the law, or on March 31st, they tear down their grows.
That's it.
That's what their choices are.
I say keep growing illegally, but then it's up to everybody else to choose what level of risk they're willing to.
Absolutely. I mean, I would have personally kept growing, except I would have lost my home if I did. So, I have, my house is half paid for. I have a lot of equity, and the government in BC has forfeiture laws. And they've been about 70% successful with those forfeiture laws. Oh, sounds like a caller.
That sounds like a caller.
So they will go after people where there's equity, and they can make a quick snag. What did I say, 70%? No, they're like 97% successful with property seized.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you need to prove that your home is not the proceeds of your grow, and that's a hard thing to do. And there's a lot of patients right now where they're actually threatening to because there have been these legal grows in these homes for years, and now you've got towns and cities saying, hey, we're going to come into your house, and now we're going to make sure that you clean up the biohazard that is your grow, and we are going to charge you for it. And if you can't afford it, guess what we're going to do? We're going to take your house.
Yep.
So we got Redbeard on Skype.
All right.
Yay.
Let's get him up there. Hey.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, handsome, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good seeing you, Redbeard.
You too. I miss you guys.
We miss you too. We were at Starbucks. We were there for lattes. We thought of you.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was great times we had.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, what's going on out in BC, my friend? I miss the mountains.
It's cold as fuck. Yeah, I'm wearing my woolies. I got several layers on in the shop. Torch is keeping me warm, so I'm making lots of pipes to keep warm. And life is good, man. I miss you. Meeting you downtown. I'll have to come to the other downtown to meet you.
Well, we're hoping maybe we'll see you in May.
Yeah, I should be out there for the TY Cup at Champs Expo.
Sounds good, my friend. Sounds good.
And I'm hoping to, I know there's a few of us here that are hoping to come see you at the Great Glass Gathering sometime this summer.
Oh, good. I hope so. I hope you can make the trip out.
We've been talking about Winnebagos and stuff. We'll see.
Yeah, nice. I got the good parking spot.
Yeah, a little further of a trek for me this year. I was just wondering, you still making us the pot TV bongs there, my friend?
Yes, I am. I get sidetracked, but I am. I'm sorry, Opus. You asked, you were going to send me an address when you got there. So actually, I've been waiting for you.
Ah, all right. Well, I'll get on that as soon as I can, my friend. Sounds good.
I would.
Yeah, I'm really busy, but you're definitely up on my list, brother. I know exactly in my mind what I'm going to make you.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, you did tell me to bother you about it, so I thought, yeah, we'll just get that dig in here on the air.
Well,
why not?
It's probably easier
That's
if he
not
actually
bothering.
ships it right here.
That's a reminder for Pothead.
We'll probably get you to send it right here to Vapor Central.
Yeah.
Nice. I will, for sure. I'll send a few.
Yeah, man. All right. We're 667 Yonge Street. In, I was going to say Amsterdam.
In Toronto, Ontario, and I don't.
Youngsterdam, that was it.
Yes,
That's
Youngsterdam.
I was going to say Vansterdam.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm still thinking of BC time stuff. It's good seeing you, man. Really is.
Hey, I actually called with a grow question. I was thinking about the time that you and I hiked up to my outdoor location up on the mountaintop.
Yes,
and we
ma'am.
had a really good discussion about the advantages of growing from seed.
Yes.
And most outdoor growers grow clones. And we talked about why I grew from seed that whole crop. And maybe you could share that with the fellow outdoor enthusiasts, because I think it's really important.
Well,
And if you need a reminder because of your memory, let me know, because I remember.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a subject I've actually written about. And for those of us who are have that outdoor bent and like to grow in the bush, or guerrilla grow as it is, the advantage of growing from seed is what Redbeard's referring to, is that the seed plant puts down a deep taproot and will actually find water source or go down to the water table. And when you grow from clones, the cuttings tend to have a much shallower root system and require a lot more irrigation usually. That's what you're talking about, isn't it? You're referring to?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Thanks, man.
I knew it, brother. We think alike. Yeah, man.
A lot of people talk about the vigor that seeds have, but I think that's exactly what the vigor is referring to, is that root system enabling to go deeper.
Yeah, and some of the videos I put on my last couple shows from my outdoor from last year, I actually showed that we had a 6-week drought and a lot of heat back there, well, as you were aware of, on the coast last summer. And when I got out to my plants, they fared just fine because I was, close to water source, was only like 2 feet down was the water table where I dug my holes.
Yeah, and that's another good reason, I guess, not to water too often. I know even when I was a kid working in a garden center, when my parents owned a garden center, most people would come in and say, "Why did my plants die?" And I remember my dad's most usual answer was, "You're watering too often." And that's the truth on outdoor too. If you water too often, they won't send those roots down, and you're more susceptible to drought, right?
Well, exactly. And actually, the reason I was digging holes near water sources and down to the water table was I didn't even water at all. The whole idea was to put them in. They were large enough. I watered them in well, and hopefully they would just get the roots down and find the water source themselves, which they did. And that way I had the best security of all, which was not having to visit my plants for the entire time once I put them in the ground until I harvested them. I did go out to visit once right just before harvest just to check to see if they were ready, and then went back the following week. But
yeah, you're describing the grower's dream right there, aren't you? Plant it, come back, and harvest it.
Absolutely. And it's always cool coming through the bush and finding and all coming up to some great big monster bud of a plant going, oh, yeah, man. It's like that one on my Facebook page, that humongous cola of Nepalese grizzly.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's Nepalese grizzly.
That's a beautiful photo, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. And being out in the bush in a setting like that, and it's all quiet, and you're down by the lake, and that's a lot of fun. I mean, it's, with some big weed plants. Oh shit! It's 7:24, dude. It's like 4:20.
Oh, geez, BC.
Holy shit!
How did that happen?
You missed 420 BC time.
Missed 420 BC time. Well, happy 420 BC for all our BC viewers, everyone on Pod TV, yo.
Redbeard, happy 420. Thanks for the call.
I'm hitting the bong right now because I need a hit.
I feel like I didn't prep enough. I didn't pre-roll enough. I was like, oh wait, I should have started this afternoon, because we have at least a couple 420s and a couple conversations to get through here.
Yeah, there's a few.
Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. going to talk about vending machines in Vancouver.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the new Vancouver has new crackpipe vending machines. Anybody heard of those?
There are 2 currently in Vancouver. 25 cents will buy you a crack pipe.
A ceramic crackpipe, I might add.
You know, I do believe our mayor was recently in Vancouver.
I think he's got an in on her. What?
Yeah.
He started shaking the machine. He figured he got ripped off. You know, whatever.
That is actually a problem they are having with the machines. Actually, is that people are shaking them. But there's a lot of controversy. People have differing views on how they feel about these vending machines. Of course, you know, a lot of the media is hyping it up and saying everybody's not happy with it and everything else. But we're talking about Vancouver, a city that has Insight.
Insight, yes. Well, that's I lost my connection.
Well,
yeah, Insight that recently celebrated 10 years.
Yeah. That's a safe injection site located in Vancouver for anybody that doesn't know. And it's kind of one of the most awesome stats that I've ever heard about Insight is in their first year, Insight had 500 overdoses and not a single death. And that's what harm reduction is all about, is because if those people were on the streets and where they'd actually shot up, they would have died.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you're ODing in an alley somewhere behind some dumpster,
yeah,
you know, as opposed to in a clean facility with medical assistance right there.
Yeah, and access to programs. So I mean, there's everybody that's in Vancouver that actually is from the neighborhood and knows the city. They're completely behind it because it's actually made such a huge difference in the neighborhood.
Yeah, well, in 2008, it was the Conservative government tried to shut down Insight, but the Supreme Court of Canada ruled that their exemption under the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act was valid under harm reduction strategies. This is interesting. In a statement, this was to CTV News on Saturday, Public Safety Minister Stephen Blaney, this is the same cocksucker who has continuously ignored signing Mark Emery's transfer back to Canada. Yeah. That piece of fucking shit. And he said, and this is such a pat answer from the Conservatives, he disagrees with the initiative. This is the machines that hand out to sell crack pipes. He supports treatment that ends drug use, including limiting access to drug paraphernalia by youth. I don't think there's too many youth prowling around in the Lower East End of Vancouver streets looking for these two machines that exist in a seedy hotel lobby.
Well, since we're in Toronto, we should talk about Toronto and crack pipes in Toronto. Toronto Public Health makes safe crack kits. They're awesome, okay? They give them out. And the reason they're important is it's the harm reduction. If you walk into a convenience store in your neighborhood and you see the little ginseng bottles and a little bit of Brillo pad by the cash register, they're selling that to crack addicts. And what they're doing is they're smashing off the end of it and they're using those little glass vials as crack pipes, and they get hot and their lips get blistered or they get cut, and they share those crack pipes, and that's how HIV and Hep C get spread within the crack community.
Yep.
And so it's a harm reduction issue. The Brillo pad that they're using, because it's cheap and it's easy, and the Brillo pad that they're using, they're actually inhaling little bits of metal and actually cutting the inside of their lungs. And so when the saliva and blood goes back onto those crack pipes, and they share a crack pipe with another crack addict, they're spreading the HIV and the Hep C virus. So Toronto Public Health makes these great safe crack kits. They have 2 pipes per kit, so you don't have to share. They have alcohol wipes. They have the filters that metal filters that you'd buy for your bong that you can go buy at THC. They have actual proper filters in them, so they're not using Brillo pad and harming the inside of their lungs. And you know, Toronto tax dollars pay for public health to do these as a harm reduction strategy. And then when Toronto Police Services catches a crack addict on the street with a safe crack kit, they destroy them.
They wreck it, yeah.
Because, you know, they can't have the safe crack kit. And it's a ridiculous system that isn't helping anyone. So these access for 25 cents for a safe crack kit is, I would like to see them in Toronto.
Well,
Yeah.
well, they point out that the crack pipes are 25 cents in the machine. A single case of HIV can cost the Canadian taxpayers $250,000.
Oh yeah.
So in treatment. So I would say preventing just one case of a disease like that is a good investment.
Yeah.
For a machine with a couple $100 worth of crack pipes,
Yeah, and people don't realize it. Like when they see the little ginseng bottles and the Brillo pads and the stuff by the cash register, they don't realize that that's part of the harms of prohibition is that you can't get a safe crack pipe, so they're resorting to pretty horrible things.
I come from a small town called Port Alberni, and I actually started to see the little blue plastic vials of sterile water.
Yep.
And on the ground. And somebody asked me, and they said, "Have you seen all these little blue packets laying around in places?" And I said, yeah. She goes, "What the hell are those?" So I explained what they were. I said, "Well, they sterile water. The addicts, they just crack the end off. They can squirt the water into a syringe and shake it up with their drug of choice, Coke or whatever they're shooting, and away they go." And she's like, "Get the hell out of here. This is Port Alberni." And I said, "Well, you figure there's a wall around here that says drug addicts stay away? Like, this is, like, you can't come in?" I didn't realize there was a test.
It's that same invisible wall that seems to, when stupid people don't realize, there's an invisible wall that keeps the undercovers away, right?
I'm going to move to a small town, and, well, hey, I'll just ignore the problem if I move away.
Yeah. If I'm in a small town, there's no addicts, there's no addiction there, it won't follow me, there's no addicts
The commercial
here.
said this was a good place to raise a family.
Yeah, and then you find out your mayor smokes crack. That's kind of how it turns out, yeah. Drug addiction is everywhere.
Look at the time.
And it's not a criminal issue, it's a health issue.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
Speaking of, people that have awesome ideas about drug addiction being a health issue, the president of Uruguay.
The president of Uruguay. Woohoo! Good dude.
I like that segue, by the way.
I did. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
Well
Thank
done. Before we get into that, I'm going to give away some marijuana.
Oh, is it that time already?
Yeah. Oh, did I hear somebody go, woo?
Who wants weed?
Yeah. You guys want to win marijuana? No. Nobody's saying anything.
No, I can't hear them. It's like the quietest. This is like the quietest room ever. You say in other places, like, who wants some of Opus's weed?
Yeah, okay.
There are some people across the country that are screaming in front of their computers.
I'm sure
right
the
now.
chat's flying right now going, "We want weed, Opus, yeah." All right, well, we will play for our sponsor. We have a new sponsor, by the way. And I'd like to welcome on board Bud Buddy. Yo, dude, thanks for the sponsorship. It's much appreciated.
It's awesome. I heard.
So I should get this Bud here that's on the Bud Cam weighed up. And our online viewers. Are we prepared to do this there, Goodwin?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was hoping to do an in-house segment first.
Do you want to do an in-house?
Okay.
All right,
And
let's
then we'll
do in-house, but we're still welcoming.
Okay,
This mic is driving me
Can we
crazy.
tease them that that the online viewers should really stay tuned because we have a surprise for them too?
I have been announcing it for the past hour and a half online, and
Awesome,
I think
okay.
a lot of the people in chat know.
All right.
But in the next half hour, probably at 8 o'clock hour.
All right, when we do the 8 o'clock wake and bake, maybe we can give some Bud away too.
Right, we'll do the Bud Buddy online version.
All right, I know. And I got.
So we
I
should
hope
maybe take care of the
Casey's
crowd here, though.
today. If you're here, Casey. Oh, there he is. I see him waving his arm back there. All right. Good man. Okay, we're going to give away some marijuana. I've got this Bud here that's on the Bud Cam. I'm going to weigh it up. Let's get this.
So we should ask a question or two and get some contestants.
Yeah, we need some questions.
So who wants to,
It's not that Bud, right?
This Bud here? Yeah, we're going to guess the weight of this one.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'll keep that on cam for a sec.
All right, hold on. Let me put that on cam. Make sure that they see that.
I got the Bud Cam right here.
Oh, perfect.
There it is.
All right, so who wants to win this, Bud?
No, they don't get this bud. They get this.
Oh, they get this bud.
The
They got
first
this.
two
Better.
people up to the stage, up to the microphones.
Yeah,
Right, this
first
guy
two
here
up
with
here.
the hat who had his hat up.
First two
he's
people
on.
that get up to those
First
microphones.
And I
two
need
up
one
here. Who
more up
wants
here.
to win some marijuana? Come
Oh,
on
we got
up.
somebody running.
Come on up. All right, we got
All
a
right,
winner. All right,
contestant number
awesome.
one.
And contestant number two.
Come up to this mic here, friend. Right here.
All right,
And you
here
got
we
this
go.
one right here.
Yep.
There you go.
All right, so what's your name?
Mirage?
Mirage?
Yeah, Raj.
I'm Sam.
Seb, how you doing, guys? You ever played this? You ever been on here before or been to the show?
I've seen it.
You've watched the show.
My friends have one weed from here.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So you're hoping that the good luck is transferable.
So he was sort of like, my friends want weed. That's why he said, was it good weed?
Oh man, they said it was the best weed they ever smoked in their life.
Oh, did you hear that? That guy said it was the best. His friends won weed, and he said it was the best weed they ever smoked in their life.
So all you guys that didn't run up here to try to win this, I bet you're kicking yourselves.
You're all fucked. No. Just kidding. All right, guys. I better do this again. We'll re-weigh this bud because I've forgotten how much it weighed.
So online has been doing it a lot. I won't announce any of them yet.
All right. Let's just hang on to that.
Right. And so this is a starter for the online people again. They're used to voting online and never winning, but next round they will. It'll be serious. I'm not going to allow any double votes or anything like that. So, but anyways.
All right, here we go. So this bud right here, you just get to eyeball it. You get to look it over here. No, you can't hold it. You only get to look at it. This is why it's called an eyeball. And here, take this pad of paper.
Yep. You gotta
And write down your guess, please, with 1 point. All right. What is Raj guessing there?
Raj is guessing 6.4 grams.
6.4. All right.
All right.
This gentleman right here. Sorry, what was your name again?
My name's Tim.
Tim. All right. Go ahead, Tim. What do you think?
The chat is asking, when was the scale last calibrated?
I just did it.
Okay, good. We got our number 2.
Number 2 has guessed
5.7.
Ooh.
Now we'll throw this back on the scale. You can see
Okay,
it's
so before you announce,
sure.
Everybody in chat was within about a gram. So they were all saying 2.7, 3.2, 2.8, 2.9, 2.5, 3.2.
All right.
These guesses of 5. What are they again?
5.7 and 6.4.
Whoa, they're like over double the online guess.
Yes,
really
I
big.
noticed
That's
that.
way bigger.
So,
all right.
the weight of the bud is...
The weight of the bud is, and we're going to actually see if I can show it here with the bud cam.
We're trying here.
Where are you? You're pointing at your crotch, Mick. Go closer.
Yeah.
Or bring the scale over to your arm.
Well, that won't do it.
Wait.
It's 3.44 is the weight.
3.44.
So the guy
Wah,
that
wah, wah.
bid 5 something was closer.
You had
Yes.
the closest one, and
You
you
win
win
the
this.
weed.
That's blueberry jam. Blueberry
yes,
jam.
it's very yummy. Enjoy.
Third place winner in the hybrid division last year's Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup, put on by our good friend Jeff from Skunk Funk.
I was actually speaking to Mr. Lundstrom today, as a matter of fact.
Nice. Is he showing up?
He's joining us in Jamaica, sir.
Do you want to? Should we tell us about that?
Well, yeah, there's a group of folks, and I actually have to talk to Aaron and Chris because I know I sent them an invite. There's a group of activists that are actually going to Negril, Jamaica, to the Pure Garden Resort, owned by Skunk Magazine and hosted by. There's a group of activists that are actually being sponsored by the Herb for Herb Foundation and Skunk Magazine to discuss where we're going. As Lynn called it earlier, things are kind of in a strange place with the medical marijuana program. So, April 1st, we should know where we stand. And April 20th is our most prevalent media day. So a group of activists from across the country will be meeting in Jamaica to discuss strategies and what we're gonna do.
Yep. So I'll be in Jamaica for a week. Maybe I can do a show from there on Monday.
Well, I will tell you, internet access is kind of
sketchy.
It's touch and go.
I know.
So if we can, but I think it's a great idea. A cinnamon dolce latte, tall.
Tall.
Latte.
And grande Americano with drink.
I love this. We get coffee orders. Latte.
We can write it down here. We have
Casey
paper.
Is awesome. Yeah, we should have written it down for him. But this will be the test in like, okay, can you still go get Starbucks after you've been sitting in Vapor Central being hotboxed for a while? Can you still take coffee orders?
This is the test whether
He's
auditioning for the part.
That's why the
actually,
staff here gets like brownie points, because you guys got to realize that these guys work hard every day, and they do it while you guys are hotboxing them. So tip your staff.
And I'd like to point out today, I brought in this really disgusting, filthy oil rig, and took use of the pipe cleaning, bong cleaning services, and I got to say, look at this. It was like spotless. Well, it was until I started wailing on it with butter dabs.
Yeah, as it happens.
But I'd like to encourage you to make use of that. I think they take cash, gold, car keys, or just big buds as tips for the service. I keep losing my internet, but it's coming back. It's coming back. So we were talking about Uruguay. We brought that up before we gave marijuana away.
Yeah, before we gave marijuana
This is
away.
the only show anywhere you can win marijuana. Just remember that.
Yep. Unlike Mr. Murdaugh's show, which is on tomorrow night, in which you could trade marijuana.
Yes, you can trade marijuana on the Matt Murnaugh show, but here we give it away.
Yes.
Because
So
it is
just
Monday,
saying.
and we
Just
figured, we got to start the week off giving away some buds.
Marijuana Monday.
Marijuana Monday.
Marijuana Monday with Mik Mann. I think that works.
Yeah. No, we're still Opus. Opus Live. Opus Live. So, what's this guy's name? Pepe Mujica. He's the president of Uruguay, and if you haven't heard, he's been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize for legalizing marijuana in his country. And I think also for the fact, doesn't he ride a bicycle?
Oh, he's
or
amazing.
drive like a shitbox car?
Oh, he
and,
drives a shitbox car.
Lives at a shack.
He wears like sandals and shorts to the meetings. Like he's not a suit guy.
No.
He doesn't take half of his salary. Like I think it's more than half of his salary.
I think that's him sitting in the back at the bar. Having dabs. You wouldn't even notice if it was,
Yeah, but they've done some really great. He wants to. Where was I looking at? Sorry, that was the last. I had notes on him. He's great.
Well, for the second year in a row, the Drugs Peace Institute, which has supported his marijuana legalization drive since 2012, insisting that the consumption of marijuana should be protected as a human right. They've endorsed his candidacy along with members of his left-wing political party. And it's all Uruguayan, Latin American stuff. The coalition of cannabis activists from Latin America. But
yeah, so basically, when it becomes fully legal in Uruguay in early April, Uruguayans will have like a bunch of different ways to actually access it. So kind of like, our dream is here is, there will be a multiple of ways to access marijuana, whether it be through tinctures or through, I guess, raw cannabis, but I guess it would also be probably very much like the Cannabis Control Board kind of idea as well, where it would be, based on a winery or a beer model.
the weed board.
The weed board.
Instead of the wheat board. The wheat board's gone. We should start up the new weed board. Absolutely. But, and it's interesting, like the caller who called in first off, and was asking like, oh, where am I going to get my meds, and who's coming up with the designated grower system or the LPs.
Yeah.
There it is, the CCBO, the Cannabis Consumption Board of Ontario. Oh, what is it? Oh, Control Board. Okay. But, I'm not against, I'm all for this boycotting the MMPR, and, I don't think the system that they're bringing up is right. I mean, I'm for anybody who wants to grow weed. Whether you want to set up a factory to grow pot, great. But don't say that I can't put a few plants out.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to get at is like I have no problem. I think everybody, and like the caller said, everybody should be allowed to grow pot. Well, I agree.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who, can't grow pot, or they start growing pot, they get tired of doing it.
It's one of the issues is that I remember when there were a lot of people yelling back and forth within the community and taking sides on, the medical marijuana issue and the whole MMPR. And I don't want my friends that grow for themselves to lose their right to grow. However, this is actually a program that will probably benefit me. If they can keep it at, grow quality meds at $6 a gram, it's cheaper than the streets. It's just better than I've ever had it at most of these places. It's because it's been prohibited. Like I said earlier, is that I have the same struggles. I don't know where my meds are going to come from, but I've been in that situation before. I had a grower. I didn't get my meds. I lost my whole complete fall harvest. And again, I'm in Toronto. I have been here hanging out at Vapor Central since it opened. I am very connected within the community and across the country. And I got ripped off. So what is happening to patients out in the middle of Alberta and out in the middle of the East Coast who don't have the same connections and access that I do?
Or in rural BC, is another instance where I'm familiar with hearing about these kinds of problems. And this is again why I think it could be a good thing, the program. It's not entirely bad. It's the fact that
the way that it's written and the way that the bureaucrats have handled it, it's a clusterfuck. But
that's no question there.
There are certain aspects of it that, we've asked for.
But now that I've moved from a really big house where I could flash up 5, 6, 7 lights. If I'm going to move into an apartment and I decide to put up a grow tent with 1 light, my harvest, what I'm used to having around, is probably going to be diminished considerably. So I like the option of being able to supplement my garden with maybe buying some extra, or even having the different strains that maybe I'm not growing to say, I think I'll get some of that. It's nice to have, variety is the spice of life. So, I'm not entirely against these guys, but don't make me a criminal after 14 years of growing my own weed legally with a stroke of a pen.
Yeah.
Because nothing has changed. I'm not doing anything that I haven't done different for the last 14 years, but all of a sudden because someone's deemed that, somebody should have, we'll decide who gets to grow pot. Well, wait a minute. I have issue with that.
And how can they say that we're doing it wrong, or that any of these people are doing it wrong, when they've never inspected, ever?
No.
There's never been an inspection of a designated grower in the 13 years of the program, and all of a sudden we're all doing it wrong. All of a sudden, and the only people that are allowed to do it are large corporations that are.
Fire chiefs are screaming about fire hazards, but there's been absolutely not one instance of a fire in a licensed grow. The only fires are in illegal grows, the ones that they come and find.
Because they have to hide.
If they had that statistic, they would have been flashing it every single day. There's been 20 fires in legal grows, but they don't have any. Because if they did, like I say, they'd be using it.
Yeah.
So all they do is talk about, well, it's not safe. In one of my conversations with a Health Canada worker, I said, so do you want me to send in an electrical inspection? She's like, oh, no, we don't want anything like that. It would have just been like throwing sand in the Vaseline jar.
Yeah. There's lots of hope right now that the people that were licensed to grow, there's a John Conroy and the MMAR Coalition. They're trying to.
Jason Wilcox is involved with that.
They're trying to keep the patients that are growing, giving them access to keep growing for themselves.
Sure.
And I actually think that would be the best situation. If you could grow for yourself, or, I think the designated grow situation, I think that's time it's got to go. It's either one or the other. You grow for yourself or you buy. Because that's the issue, is the gray area is there are some designated growers that really screwed it for everyone. That's just the way it is, guys. And so there are I have a fabulous designated grower that I've had to give up, and he has been an angel to me, and I'm actually going to get upset about it because I was sick. And now
Right
I don't know
on.
where
Here
I'm going
we
to get them
are.
from. So I understand where the patients are, and I can't believe I'm losing it a little bit now. But
See, look at this. This is what, has happened with so many people that I've spoken to, that they're actually, thank you, sir, they're physically, broken up and having issues with the whole, this a way of life being literally ripped away from them, and I'm not really sure where they're going to turn. Like the caller who Skyped in, the late girl right off the hop, sorry, her name escapes me at the second, but...
I believe it was Lynn, I'm not sure.
Lynn, yeah, I believe so. And, you can tell, like, she's agitated,
Linda Northcott.
Linda Northcott, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And, no, you could it's clear as day. She's pissed. You should have heard me a few months ago. I was not a happy camper. Having to tear down, this something I've been growing for many, many years. And if you go to my website, or not my website, but my Facebook page, there's shitloads of photos of a lot of photos of weed and different grow videos and we're always trying to bring stuff up.
And we talk about this a lot, and people kind of look at us and go, okay, yeah. But the thing is you're seeing me healthy now. So it's kind of one of those situations where it's like, oh, yeah,
Thank you, Casey, my 8 o'clock wake and bake dude. You were a little early, but that's okay,
awesome.
man. We're working out the timing, but this is going to be the...
So we should get on to, a little
new
bit,
feature.
fewer emotional, less emotional issue.
Sure.
And talk about the fact that I think Alaska is going to be the next state to legalize weed.
Alaska. I couldn't believe it. They must have Sarah Palin bound and gagged in a basement somewhere, just maxed out on Thorazine. They're just feeding her drugs constantly, keeping her completely fucked up.
And here's the thing is that, kind of going back to the designated grower and growing for yourself, I don't grow. First of all, real estate in Toronto is really expensive, so finding a place for plants and shoes, I'm a girl here. I can't do both. And growers are awesome. They are a different breed of people. You guys really are. Because everybody's like, oh, grow, it's really easy. But you guys are all slaves to your bitches. You really are. Those ladies have to rule your life, and you do it with love, and it's awesome. But they do take up a lot of time and dedication.
I would say growing is definitely a full-time job. It requires constant attention. You can't go away for the weekend. You can't stay out late or over at a friend's place because your grow could suffer.
Yeah.
3 days. I would come here for a few days to visit, even though I had left somebody to look after my garden. I go home. I've got 6 days of back work. Always. It doesn't matter who it is.
Well, there was the time where Murnaugh got arrested at Yonge and Dundas Square for the movies they were playing at night, The Dazed and Confused. And everyone was worried about his grow, that the air conditioner was going to kick out. He was in jail overnight, and we didn't know what to do.
Yep.
Can you imagine Sarah Palin and Rob Ford trying to speak patois, Rasta patois?
Oh, no. Oh, that's... you should email that to somebody at SNL.
I think,
or this hour has 22 minutes. Somebody's got to get this to,
Rick Mercer.
We got comics in the room. Somebody's got to be a writer in here.
Yeah,
Somebody make that happen.
I think there's comics coming up after this show. The CK podcast is coming up after the show, I'm pretty sure.
But I have a question regarding Alaska legalizing weed.
Yeah.
Well, because I don't know much about the, like, I just know Alaska's cold.
Well,
Right?
They want to legalize possession up to an ounce by adults and the
But
cultivation of up to 6 plants.
But I'm trying to figure, you couldn't grow outdoors in Alaska, could you?
Well, it says here it would allow people to keep the fruits of their harvest in excess of an ounce as long as they keep it in their home. It would create a system of state-regulated and taxed retail marijuana sales. So I guess something like the Colorado or Washington, they're going to,
But
give out
I'm
licenses
just
to
wondering
producers.
Outdoor growing conditions in Alaska.
Oh, no, they'll grow indoors. They'll grow in greenhouses.
But could you?
Sure they can.
But I'm just kind of like, so that kind of made me wonder. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. So, because we've got lots of friends that are going to other countries, and Linda
People
brought
are
this up
growing
earlier.
weed in Alaska now.
Yeah, I'm just
in
kind of
basements,
like,
I'm
but
sure.
No, the guerrilla gardening. I'm just kind of wondering. It's like, all right, what's the shortest strain? I don't grow, right? So I have that question. I'm like, what's the shortest cycle of strain and light cycles and outdoor? Could you grow outdoors in Alaska?
As a professional grower, I can tell you right now, there's just not any strains available. They just don't exist that are really high-end kick-ass weed.
Yeah.
That will finish above. You're probably looking at around the 35th, 33rd parallel. Like it just isn't going to happen above the 49th. It's not.
See, and that
unfortunately.
That was my question because I was like.
You can get it. You need to finish them in. You need to finish them with supplemental lighting, or like I say, in a greenhouse.
In a greenhouse.
In a greenhouse where you just protect them from the elements. If you the temps can drop, but you get the sun.
They're growing in Manitoba and Saskatchewan right now, so
exactly.
Good point. Where it's like colder than Mars.
Professional growers figure stuff out. They figure out ways. There is actually in Port Alberni, where I moved away. There's a large scale English cucumber greenhouse that's hydroponic. That is, and they've poured cement troughs in the straight on the dirt, in the place, and they've got drains and such installed, and they heat it with this fancy new coal-fired unit that burns clean. And that's how they keep growing all year round English cucumbers in the greenhouse in Port Alberni on Vancouver Island.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually lived right behind the place, and I was like, what the hell's that noise? Until I figured out, they're growing cucumbers next door. That's kind of cool.
Did I mention that Casey's my favorite person right now because that latte is awesome?
No, but there you go. See, there you go. Well, it was just like the perfect timing. We needed that. Did anybody hear? But hey, just let me know, Goodwin. Anytime we've got that online bud giveaway figured out, we can do that anytime.
Awesome. Yeah, I figure I'll just put the chat on the screen like this, and we'll start doing it eventually. I don't know.
All right.
Do we open it to everybody can vote? Like, we're going to have like 20, 30, 40 votes.
I think we should point out that we can't, if you're in the chat, that we can't, Bud Buddy can't mail to the United States.
Yep.
So if you're an American, if you're an American with a safe Canadian mailing address, that'd be cool.
But yeah, if you're
But no American mailing addresses will be accepted. So if you want to play, so you know.
And it's kind of the reverse. Do you remember watching TV when you were younger, and it was like you'd watch and you could enter a contest, and it was like open to Americans only, not
available
to Canadians,
in Canada.
not available in Canada. So now we're doing like the reverse.
Yeah. Now it just says like not open to people in Quebec.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get one of our like show announcers to do like a little like Opus Live. This is do one of those quick thing talking disclaimers.
I'm sure.
This is open to legal residents of Canada and the rest of the world outside the United States.
American viewers, please do not apply.
Yes, exactly.
All people in chat, viewers watching, be prepared to qualify for this vote. If you vote for this, attempting to win, be prepared to have to give a safe mailing address and a name.
In Canada.
Or
in Canada.
In the world, just everything outside the United States. I think.
All right, I got to get another bud out here for weighing up.
All right.
We'll take this one away.
So what is this Bud Buddy thing, anyways?
So Bud Buddy is a mail order delivery service.
Mail order bud.
Bud by mail.
Yeah, buy your weed in the mail, and it like I don't know if he has one, but I think it's almost like Bud of the Month Club or something.
They have a really awesome menu.
There it is.
And it's funny. Many people often, will sit there and go, "No, that can't be real." And yeah, it's real. It's been around for a while.
They're the original, Canada's original mail order marijuana business, and I believe they actually have a advertise on Cannabis Culture's webpage.
Yep.
They might have a bar up there.
They do. I'm not sure if they actually advertise on Pot TV. They actually, the funny thing is,
well, they do now.
They showed up on my Facebook.
They do now. They advertise now on Pot TV. Thank you again.
You know, you get the little Facebook ads that pop up and things you might be interested in.
Oh yeah, Bud Buddy pops up on your.
Bud Buddy freaking popped up the other day. I was
nice.
Like, check that out. Oh no, Google is getting to know me. Big Brother is watching it. It whole new. Version of feelings.
But obviously they're interested in promoting it, though.
They definitely are.
I think Google's pretty cool, really. They just probably hate the government, what they make them do.
I kind of wonder, I'm kind of hoping that, somebody at Google, now that the legal states are going legal and everything is changing, that, somebody on 420, the Google Doodle on 420 will be something cool. I'm dreaming.
That would be good.
I'm waiting. That's when I know we'll have made it. When the Google Doodle.
Put that on your Facebook status.
420.
Actually, everybody here should tweet that out right now. That they want to see the Google Doodle on 420 weed related. Just start tweeting that shit out right now. Do us all a favor.
Yeah.
There you go.
Also, tweet and Instagram to your friends that they can, if they're watching this show right now, vaporcentral.com, they have a chance to win marijuana.
Yes.
Bud Buddy will be sending them 3 grams of some high-quality marijuana.
You see that? You can win 3 grams. Not you guys in here tonight, unless you're online. I don't know. There you go. I'm going to put the bud up on the camera here on the bud cam. That's the one they got to guess the weight of. Are we in focus?
So we might have to do a couple rounds. With so many viewers, I'm curious if we're going to have a couple ties, and then we might have to have qualifiers, semi-qualifier, whatever.
Yeah, maybe we'll have a skill testing question. I'll put the lighter beside the bud for size reference.
Okay, so 2.5, 3.2, only vote once. So I don't want to see double voting because I'm going to copy this chat.
You vote twice and you're disqualified.
3.27, 2.7,
Hi guys.
2.4,
hey, Matty, how you doing,
4.6,
brother?
2.1, 2.7, 3.
Do you want to come hang out on the couch?
Only for a minute, but sure.
Come and sit down, man.
Here's the chat.
Have a hit.
Say what's up to the chat as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, this mic is
sorry.
Amped. Well, it's not my fault that I was born with a beautiful voice.
Oh, so what's going on, Mr. Oliver?
Not much, not much. I'm just staying warm at the moment. It is unbelievably cold outside.
I got a question from a viewer. How dry is it? Is it properly cured?
Of course.
Is there a humidity percentage that we could throw out there?
It's Opus's. It's properly cured.
It's my weed. It's cured. It's been dried,
no, you can
dried,
go over.
Cured, and
it's not like The Price is Right. You're allowed to go over or under.
Yes, the guesses are closest too.
There's a lot of nice marijuana on the table up here.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the blueberry jam and the Burmese?
Yes. Yeah, it's the Burmese.
Burmese, okay.
Always.
We're going to cut off voting in the next 30 seconds, so we got a lot of voters. I'm going to have to copy this chat.
Some of the guys in chat follow me on Facebook and saw the pictures. I was happy enough to have sprayed a full ounce of the Burmese, and it came out as just the most beautiful golden shatter honey oil that I've seen in a while. So this is high quality marijuana for sure.
Yeah,
made beautiful concentrates.
Second place at last year's Prairie Harvest Cup in the hybrid division.
And that was a ripoff. He really should have had first place. I mean, that was like the GSP Hendricks fight. I mean, GSP won, but we know Hendricks kicked his ass. We know your pot kicked ass that time, but
It was a tough competition.
It was
a
tough.
good ballot. There were 16 strains competing.
I always thought that it would eventually evolve into almost like, you start off with 16, but it's almost like a round robin, where you smoke all 16, and then only 8 advance, and then you smoke all those 8 again, and then only 4 advance, and it's kind of like a tournament bracket breakdown, and then eventually you're so baked.
Did you ever
at the end, you're almost happy to finish.
Did you ever get a look at the ballot that they used for that competition?
I did see it.
It was actually like probably one of the best ballots. It was brilliant.
That's cool.
It was also one of the best of all the cups I've been to.
I've heard that before.
The best
already.
return on ballots, because quite often, you give out all the ballots, 200 some odd ballots, 250 ballots at the Toker's Bowl, and you were lucky to get like 30% return on the ballots. Okay, people just don't hand them in; they're handing them in blank. I mean,
And what the guys didn't realize, even when they the good return that they did get on the ballots, is I had to make when we came back, I had to make an admission. Is that they forgot about the vendors. I didn't get a chance to fill.
All right,
my
we're still in the middle of a game here. Everyone
I
else.
thought you cut it off. We were filling in time. Anyways, I'm going to take off.
We're waiting for all those guesses to come on in here.
I'm going to take off. You guys have fun finishing off your game. I got to go back next door to Toronto Hemp Company, a beautiful place.
All right.
So you guys have fun.
Have fun.
Thanks, Medic.
Toronto Hemp Company.
Nice
they
chatting
were
with you as
awesome.
always, brother.
Thanks, buddy. Bye, chat.
We'll
I
see you
picked
after
up my
work.
papers and my filters on my way here. Thanks, guys.
You're very welcome. Bye, Tracy.
Bye.
So should I just announce the weight there, Goodwin, and you'll...
Or do you want to give us some of the weights that people are guessing? Is there a range?
There's a pretty good little range. Here's the chat. So from the beginning when we posted it, the first vote was 2.5.
Yeah.
Then 3.2,
Yes.
2.7, 2.4, 4.6, 2.1, and so on. So 2.6. A lot of 2.7s. That's been called a bunch of times. A lot of 1.7s. I see a couple 1.9s, I think.
I want to just say...
if it's the first one to say it is the number we take. We can't.
Right. There's no double votes, but I mean, there's 55 viewers right now and about 20 votes, I guess, maybe
All
25.
right. Well, what I was going to get at is next time to help narrow it down, we're looking for 3 numbers, eh?
2 numbers is good.
Oh, okay. Well, that way it would be easier for ties, I think.
Ties, we can make them vote on another one, do another one.
All right. Well, the weight is, if you got somebody had it way back up there, I saw it go by. The actual weight is 2.17. So the 2.1 guess would have been the one who had
I
it.
see Doc Chronic voted 2.1.
If you round it up, though, it's 2.2.
Do I see any other 2.1s? No. And there's no 2.2s.
Somebody just saw 2.2 go by. Is 2.1 or 2.2?
Well, I'll let Bud Buddy make the final call, but you guys got the weight.
The weight was 2.17 or
2.17.
closer to 2.2 or a little further away. There is a 2.2 vote.
All right, I think just won some marijuana from Bud Buddy.
I guess so. You'll have to, I guess somehow they're going to deal with your safe mailing address.
Way to go,
Congratulations, our first winner from Bud Buddy. On the chat.
So I don't know, I can't read it. Is it budbuddy.com or budbuddy.com?
It's budbuddy.com.
Budbuddy.com.
.biz.
Oh, .biz.
See, I'm glad I asked that question. Yes, budbuddy.biz for those of you that, are not online at the moment and you don't see the banners.
So I don't know if anybody's been paying attention. Probably not, because there's been that, I know that, what is it, that hypnotizing symbol's been up on television lately. Those swirling rings that people keep getting
Oh, yes.
It's
the
like
Olympics.
tunnel vision. They're like, oh, yeah, man, we're doing good.
Yeah.
We're doing good. Don't worry about that homeless guy out there, man, because we're doing good. We got some medals,
Yeah.
We won some shit today, and in some useless fucking sport, but yeah, we're doing good.
See, it's hard for me.
Meanwhile, my medicine's being taken away from me, but we're doing good because we won some medals. Go fuck yourself, you stupid Olympics.
Now,
how to get that out?
Yes, I don't think the Olympics needs to be the grand occasion that it is. A sporting competition is a sporting competition. I think the money.
They don't even get paid, man. Come on.
No, exactly. They need
it's amateur sports.
They need to get sponsorships to get there. It's crazy. And then all this money is spent on the opening ceremonies and the pomp and circumstances and the everything else.
Well, what it is every 4 years, I think, this comes up, and the governments around the world use this as a distraction to pull some fast shit. And right now, the government of Canada, if you haven't heard, has an election reform bill that's pretty much being considered an affront to democracy, but I'm sure if you're paying attention that you know that democracy in this country is dead under this present government. And so anyways, there's an overhaul of the Election Act that's being rammed through Parliament right now. And I hope you're interested in this because it has to do with voting. And if you know me at all, voting I consider it to be extremely important. How many people here voted last federal election? Put up your hand.
Last federal election. Who
in
this
vote?
room voted?
You guys. Hey, did you guys
asking
vote in the last federal election? Okay, so there you go. Perfect reason not to. You weren't old enough.
Here's the deal. This place is great, but there are people across the country that are still getting arrested for possession. And they're still losing
like 60 to 80,000 people a year
are still getting arrested for possession in this country.
Simple possession of
You
marijuana.
guys are lucky. You are fortunate. And you need to vote and establish those rights for other people across this country.
You need to
vote in your federal election. You need to vote in all level of politics if you want to actually have a difference. You pay your taxes, you vote, you have a right to bitch when things don't go your way. Otherwise, shut the fuck up.
In British Columbia, people think it's, oh yeah, man, like weed out there is almost legal. You guys are all, You know that marijuana arrest for simple possession is twice the national average. It's double. For every 100,000 people in BC, 420 get arrested for simple possession. And I know it's a slap in the face using our numbers, but but that's the fact. And it's only like 210 the rest of Canada.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Vancouver itself. If you're in downtown Vancouver, then don't worry about it. I think last year 3 people got busted for weed in downtown Vancouver. And it's only because they were being assholes about it.
Yeah.
They were drunk, and then they got found with weed on them, so they busted them because they were being a dick and causing a scene.
Well, speaking of, we should actually probably bring this up because we didn't actually talk about this. Do you think Jeremiah's still going to call?
I don't know if Jeremiah said he was going to call, but,
Because I kind of want to touch on that issue before we need to make sure we touch on that issue before we finish.
Calling Jeremiah, Pot TV, Cannabis Culture News, give us a shout.
But the Fair Elections Act, it's kind of crazy. What they're planning on doing here is they're taking away the independent right to investigate our electoral system. So basically, the Fair Elections Act says it limits the Chief Electoral Office's power to provide information to the public. So under the proposed bill, the only role of the Chief Electoral Officer would be to inform the public of when and where and how to vote. So they wouldn't actually be able to share information about wrongdoing within the electoral system. They wouldn't be able to tell when people are fucking with the system. They wouldn't be able to tell us. They would diminish their job to simply being, this is where you vote, this is how you do it.
We're going into another election here shortly next year, and we still don't know what actually happened with the robocalls from the last election. And now this new legislation, basically, it would limit any of that from even being investigated now.
Yeah, any of the research that they were doing would no longer be published because there'd be communications with the public. And so those would be forbidden under the new bill.
Here's a couple things that the Conservatives claimed and whatnot, but they didn't actually do, and it have to do with this. For one, they did not consult with Elections Canada on about this bill. And on the eve of tabling this bill, Peter Poliver, the minister in charge of this of elections business, he stood up in the House of Commons to declare that the government had consulted with Chief Electoral Officer Mik Mann. I did meet with the CEO of Elections Canada some time ago, and we had a terrific and very long meeting at which I listened carefully to all of his ideas. Well, Maynard's office came back with no, not at all.
So the independent, investigations into the Elections Canada, basically, they're saying, no, the Conservatives didn't consult us on this. They're trying to railroad a bill that will take away the rights of our actual government to investigate them in elections fraud.
Well, number two, Elections Canada.
And will limit your access to that knowledge because they're not going to be allowed to tell you about it.
They wanted investigative powers, request denied, and then some. So this is kind of what's going on while everybody else is watching the Olympics, folks. Is more, you need to talk to your MPs. And I know that seems like a really daunting task. You're like, I don't even know who the hell my MP is. Guys, you got Google. His address is listed on his page. It just, you put in your postal code, it'll say, this is who your MP is. Go down and talk to him and go, wait a second, what the hell is going on? What's going on with my right to vote? What's going on with the marijuana laws? This is ridiculous. Actually get involved in your local politics. I'm gonna do a shameless plug here for our friend here as well. Actually get involved in politics. We've actually got Miss Erin Goodwin there that is running for the Freedom Party in Thornhill and is doing her civic duty. Yay, Erin. So everybody support Erin. If you can help her out on her campaign, do it. And we've also got our buddy Matt Murnaugh, who is running for the mayor of Toronto. Matt Murnaugh for mayor.
Matt Murnaugh for mayor. So, this is a dude who almost made weed legal in Canada. He's fought Dundas Square. He's been to City Hall. He's written a book. He is a marijuana guy, but he's not just a marijuana guy. He's a smart guy. And
not a bad guy.
Not a bad guy. So you guys want to know a little bit more about how politics work in Toronto, you should actually check out Murnaugh for Mayor.
Here we go.
I believe. Yes, here's the theme song. It's very catchy. Song. I've had it in my head for 3 days. By the Killing Time Band.
That's good. That's good. I got to do a dab.
Yes. So, yes, get involved in politics, folks. That's the only way things are getting changed. All right.
I used to think that not voting was like the thing to do, or even going down. And then I started going down to spoil my ballot. But the truth is actually voting and getting involved, joining a party, engaging in conversation. That's how you're influential in creating policy.
Well, and it's hard to say, hey, they're doing it wrong. Well, then come up with a better idea. Come talk to people about it. If you've got a better idea, if you think that you've got a better solution, and the only way you're going to get heard is if you show up and be part of the conversation.
Absolutely. And, when you go down to these political gatherings or you join a party, the funny part is you get down there and you'll find out there's usually only like 3-4 people that ever show up at these meetings. Like, they're begging. They're just waiting for a fresh face to walk into the room so they can say, oh, yeah, and give you something to do, because usually nobody else wants to do it. Yeah. But if you take on the job and you start to show interest, you get to actually form the policy.
Yeah.
So that you end up being the person that they come to asking questions. It's like, hey, wait a minute, like all of a sudden you're in charge of something in politics. So that's why it's fun to get involved and do shit like that. Especially if, you're into like doing dabs at work and having like big dank buds in your pocket all the time. So people are like, what the fuck, man? You're in politics? Like, politics is cool. We're smoking a lot of weed.
Do we know what province was from? I'm just kind of curious. Are they from Ontario? Are they from BC?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Who were they? One from one from Bud Buddy. Chris, do you have any idea?
Let's ask them. Where are you from? You're in the chat.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're still with us. Didn't like just win weed and then just like, all right, turn off. I'm out of here.
I just got curious. I'm like, wait, we have 55 viewers. Where are they from?
I guess she wants people to start posting where you're from.
Well, that way we could just tell, like, where the best eyeballers online are from.
Yeah, like what province just won the status of, best eyeball on, Yeah. What province was our first winner from?
Speaking of weed, and because it is my favorite topic, I guess, I don't know if you heard, but the Conservatives are planning to target, they say target, I say disrupt, the Liberal Convention that's coming up. I find it kind of funny, though, that their choice, how they feel they're going to do that, is by distributing rolling papers with Justin Trudeau on it, saying that, Justin Trudeau wants to legalize weed for children.
Anyone
Trudeau rolling papers, that's awesome.
Anybody that's at the Liberal Convention and actually gets a set of those rolling papers, please.
I'll pay good money for those.
Yes, we will pay good money for those. Like, if you can find us a box, oh my goodness.
I will definitely want some of those rolling papers. But, it just goes to show you, like, these guys have sent out, where's that thing?
Aren't the Conservatives breaking the law by doing that?
Well, it seems to me that
Wouldn't
there was
paraphernalia?
they're changing the Election Act. They don't have to worry about it. Of course not.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys, and if they do break the law, they don't give a shit. Like, they just kind of...
Like, if you there's a whole bunch of ways paraphernalia is illegal, right? Producing it is one charge. So if you produce anything with the intent that thing is to be used for the sale, consumption, to hold, to distribute, to... whatever, any illicit drug, then the thing itself is illegal.
Exactly.
Right? So if they're making Justin Trudeau rolling papers for people to actually smoke weed in.
Well, they couldn't claim tobacco because what would be the point?
Right.
Right? So it would have to be for weeds. It would have to be for paraphernalia.
Right, and it has to be. And then if they give them, then they're trafficking in paraphernalia as soon as they give them to somebody else.
It says, Stephen Harper's Conservatives are planning to target Justin Trudeau at the upcoming Liberal Convention with a carefully orchestrated campaign to disrupt Liberal communications, highlight disunity in the ranks, and question his leadership abilities. The game plan laid out Conservative Party documents obtained by the Star spell out the objective in 3 words: drive, disrupt, disunity. And the six-page note. So this is what these Conservatives sit around spending their time doing, your tax dollars, coming up with ideas to go fuck up the other party, rather than try to come up with ideas how to make things better for us, how to save us money, and do what we want to do. They don't care about us at all. It's just, they just want to do whatever it takes to stay in power. So now it's like, well, we don't really care about you guys, but we're going to go over there and ruin this guy's party. Like, what a bunch of bullies. It just kind of shows you what the mental thinking behind these guys, where they're coming from.
Well, and I mean, if they're getting these rolling papers printed, I want to know, whoever the company is, like, I want to know, are they paper? Are they rice paper? Are they hemp? What are they?
Well, I would hope that somebody, and I'm not saying the Liberal Party per se, but somebody, like maybe an individual who's just happens to feel like doing so, when the Conservatives have their party, they should print up Stephen Harper's face on toilet paper and go hand that out and put it in all the bathrooms and all the hotels all the way around. That would be funny.
Oh.
That's what I want to see. So, I mean, if it's okay to attack the other party rather than tell us how you're going to govern and what your ideas are, I mean, these people are just grasping at straws to maintain their status quo because they realize, just like during alcohol prohibition in America, the last couple of years before they repealed alcohol prohibition were the bloodiest, most violent, conniving, dirty years possible. And I think we're seeing a repeat of that. I mean, I've studied that extensively in school. And, you know, with the struggle, the power struggle with Canada, with the medical marijuana growers now, and there's like almost like a vacuum that's been created by taking away the individual's rights, or not so much rights, but our permission that we had to grow our own meds. And, you know, in the States now, with states lining up to legalize, you know, there really is. This is a tumultuous time in the cannabis industry from a lot of different angles. You know, so
over the years, I mean, it was one of those things we never discussed in my family. We never discussed politics because it was one of those things that was kind of private. You voted for who you. I was raised that way, and now I'm kind of terrified because here I am. You know, where my family and I are talking about it because we are united in our hate, our politics that actually match. My stepdad is a retired lieutenant colonel from the military. Our politics aren't supposed to match, but we are united in our hatred and fear of Harper. And that I seem to be unified across the country. And it's the same thing that we're stuck here with Rob Ford, is everybody wants to get rid of him, but we can't.
We got a picture of the RCMP arresting Justin Trudeau with weed. Just letting you know.
Oh yeah, does that looks like Darth Vader?
Right. No.
And that I don't know about that woman cop. I think she looked like isn't she from like Battlestar Galactica or something? Or
yeah, I
Deep
think
Space,
that was
Deep Space Nine.
I think that was a CannaCon convention.
It looks like yeah.
Comic-Con.
Well, like but Justin, like he's having fun. He's like a good sport. What was I going to say? Oh, I don't know if this is true, but I heard today that 34 or 30 some odd conservatives voted against the that new program in Parliament for the vets.
Yeah, to the veteran revitalization program.
The revitalization program for the Canadian vets.
Yeah.
That's just phenomenal because it's really showing cracks in Harper's ranks.
So this would have been provided services for people with PTSD that are coming back, that have served the country, that have been, you know, in Afghanistan, who have gone and served, you know, because and here's the thing is that most people that join the military, a lot of them are from rural communities, and it's because that's, you know, your job is you're a farmer or you join the military or you join the RCMP. It's like it's a career path that you just take. And they're not prepared for what they see over there. Nobody ever is. And it's, you know, supposed to be our job to take care of them when they come back. There's actually a story recently about a veteran who committed suicide here in Ontario, and she's actually the relative of a cannabis activist in our community. She committed suicide. She was suffering from PTSD. She wasn't getting the service help that she needed. And like almost immediately after her death, Veterans Services sent her husband a bill because they had overbilled him. They had overpaid $361 of her death benefits because she had died on a particular day, and they'd overpaid that benefit, and they wanted their money back.
So they prorated her back, basically.
Yeah, sent her grieving husband a note saying, please give us, and they've since, you know, apologized and whatever else, but can you imagine, you know, your wife has served the country, she needs help, no one's there to help her,
Well, it's just more examples of, you know, the system, it's failing. More and more people are falling through the cracks. And, I mean, now just people are paying attention because it's not just homeless people or people, you know, drug addicts on the street or things like that. It's, like I say, it's veterans now, people who've actually served the country. I mean, that's striking a chord with a large segment of society now. And I think it's good. I wish I knew what ridings a lot of those 30-some-odd MPs, conservative MPs, represented. Are they rural or... well, they must be, because they don't have any MPs from, you know, urban centers, really. Very few.
But here's one thing I'll say is because, and I have to actually, I don't know if somebody can look this up for me because I never did actually get online, but Veterans Services actually does cover medical. I'm not sure if it's actually Veterans Services or what area of Veterans Medicare or medical care takes care of it, but they actually do cover medical marijuana for for soldiers, for veterans. Do you happen to know?
Come up
Hey,
to the
come up
mic.
on the
You
mic.
want to come up, talk to the mic? You have to just speak into the mic there.
If you don't mind, is it okay? Just so,
Yeah, yeah.
just so the rest, so everybody else
Just
can
so
hear
everybody
you.
can hear you, because
Please.
otherwise it's a one-sided conversation, and it's.
Yeah, just talk right into the mic.
Yeah, man. Just speak into the mic.
So obviously not medical marijuana for my parents, but just in the same respect, they were both in the military, both got injured, and the government pays them and like for all the Medicare. Because my dad, his back's bad now, so he has to go to physio, right?
Yeah.
They cover the physio for him, so it just kind of the government does its job in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's and
So they're happy. Your parents are happy with the services they're getting
like
from the military.
they'd never talk badly about it.
That's good. That's good. There's this issue though is a lot with PTSD. PTSD is one of those things that it's difficult, and I don't know. Post-traumatic stress disorder. I don't know what levels of service your parents actually went through. And everybody's individual, but again, my parents were my dad's a retired lieutenant colonel. Military was good to us. You know, I grew up in the military as well. Like I said, I always laugh because our politics are not supposed to be the same, yet we're all afraid of the conservatives.
Well, there was an article I read a week or so ago in the Globe, and it was talking about people in the military and how they're not used to speaking out. They're not used to protesting.
No.
People from a military background, they follow orders, they take direction, and it's highly unusual to see the numbers of military personnel now that are actually speaking out. And I'm talking about higher-ranking military personnel that speak out publicly and have actually gone to the media, another thing that's unheard of, to take your dirty laundry outside and air it out for everyone to see in Canada. And but this is unprecedented. You can go back for 40, 50 years through news stories in this country and never, ever see stories of military people speaking out against government policy. It just isn't this is all brand new shit.
Whereas just kind of the nature of the
I
military.
need a
or
wrench
war
for this.
itself.
There's no
Yeah.
knob. Tighten this thing up.
That's actually not what you said. I thought you're picking up the bong. I thought you said you needed a wench for that, and I'm like,
I need a
what?
bong
You
wench.
need a bong wench. Okay.
Any bong wenches are galley wench needed.
Yes.
Apply to the captain. No cooking involved.
I believe that was a Facebook status at one point, wasn't it?
That was my Facebook
believe
status
that was a
at
Facebook
one
status.
point. It was a pirate kind of a day. Clogged.
All right, I need to roll myself a joint here.
I need to unclog this bowl. Can I get a fresh bowl, maybe? This one's kind of clogged.
So, 15 minutes, 18 minutes left in the show.
All right, so I don't know whether or not we're going to hear from Jeremiah. Have we got in contact with him at all?
Oh, he sent me a text earlier. Did you want him
Is he supposed to call in or Skype in?
I didn't think so.
No, I spoke to him. He said he might. We're going to talk
Right.
a bit about
We want to talk about what's going on in Winnipeg.
But that's okay, because we can talk about this here.
Oh, yes, we can talk about that.
And this is just one of the things I wanted to bring up, and back to the medical issue, especially with these big growers, these LP licensed producers now. A lot of the pot that's being offered is either of very high THC, but I find that the very low CBD numbers.
And it all depends on which
Jeremiah's
license
here.
producer.
Yeah, Jared's just
there he is.
texted, I'll call in.
Yay.
There he is, yeah. I
So
just got him.
he's got last 15 minutes of the show.
That's what we were
We'll
hoping
explain
for.
it.
All right, well, yeah, come on, text in, Jer, and oh, thank you so
And I've actually gotten most of the numbers for all of the LPs.
You do? Oh, good.
I do. I have handed a little spreadsheet because I'm kind of,
You're on that. That's good.
like I said,
I knew I picked the right girl for the job.
A little bit of a type A personality. It's true.
Dan here, one of the manager bong tender guy is obviously making up a dab. Nice. This should be good. I'm sure. But yeah, anyways, my concerns are that I've listened to Dr. Paul Hornby speak about the high difference in high THC and like low, super, or no, almost no numbers in the CBDs, and a lot of times they refer to that as crazy weed because it can make people very anxious or paranoid, is sometimes the case. And it sort of bothered me that I didn't see more balance and of CBD to THC ratios.
There are a few of the licensed producers that seem to have something that is a little bit more balanced, but there are some that are just not even offering it. You've got the CanniMed numbers there, I believe, which are the ones that you were reading off of. But yeah, you've got products that are like 22% THC and 1% CBD.
Yeah, or even 0 point something.
Or 0.5% THC and 9% CBD. Like it's either one extreme or the other. But there are yeah, and it's crazy. Like you're looking at either very high THC and no CBD or very
yeah, it seems to be
CBD.
really either one or the other, high CBDs and no THC, or reversed. And there's also a lot of talk in the news about this high CBD, no THC, and that's going to be the new thing. This pot that doesn't get you high, and they're trying to sort of put this out as especially with kids now involved. Oh, this is the medical pot that all kids should have, and they should never have THC.
And the CBD is the body high. What you're talking about when you're talking about THC is the psychoactive effects of cannabis. And part of that is what makes you giggle. And part of that is, the euphoric high. And frankly, if you're ill and you're terminally ill, I don't think there's anything wrong with laughing. I think that there's a therapy in some of the THC that I think they're ignoring.
All right, so we got Jer on.
Hey, Jeremiah, how's it going, brother?
Oh, he just said something about his internet connection.
Okay.
1 second.
But I have I don't like the fact that these companies or the so-called experts are trying to come out now and make it look like the THC is the boogeyman of the medical marijuana. It's almost like they're trying to establish now
good
that
marijuana and bad marijuana.
Yeah, good marijuana is the high CBD and bad marijuana gets you high. So they're already drawing those lines. But remember that these lines are being drawn by the people that are trying to make money off of this. And usually when people are after the money first, they're not exactly being truthful or straight up about what their actual goals are. Whoa.
Okay. There we go.
It was that dab was...
That was a powerful.
That was a power dab.
That was a powerful dab.
Bam.
Well done.
Oh, he lost his internet.
The internet is dead.
Or maybe we lost ours. I'm not 100% sure.
All right.
1 second.
Yeah, I lost connectivity here too. Maybe on, may not be.
If not, we can always have Jeremiah on next week.
We should probably talk about it.
And what's that?
What's going on in Winnipeg before we actually close
Oh,
the
yeah.
show, just so that we...
Sure, we can mention it. In Winnipeg, if you haven't noticed, where they're having extreme amounts of murder and theft and violence and
yeah, Winnipeg's the
muggings.
murder capital of Canada.
Used to be Surrey.
It's Winnipeg now. Winnipeg is known as the murder capital of Canada. And in recent weeks, the police of Winnipeg have had nothing better to do than bust bong shops for
That's
paraphernalia.
Right. Going after the glass.
Yeah, going after the guys that are, we got one of the guys, it's like a used record store, and he also sells bongs and vaporizers and
He's been there for years.
He's been there for years. Has paid taxes on it. You know, the guys that are shipping the bongs to him, we've all paid taxes. They've all paid tax on it. Oh, here he comes. I think it's Jeremiah. I think
is that the Cannabis Culture editor and CCN News guy?
He probably has much more to add to this conversation.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Yo, guys.
Yeah, man, we got you.
I'm having a little you guys connection.
We were talking about what's going on in Winnipeg with the bong shops.
Oh yeah, I kind of am getting a bit of an echo. I'm going to turn my volume down a little bit here, but wave at me if you want me to stop or something.
No, that's perfect.
Nice. This on my show last Friday, I had Jeremy Lowen from Hemp Haven in Winnipeg, Manitoba on my show. Jeremy has been targeted by the local police department there, along with all the bong stores in Winnipeg, and they have threatened them. Jeremy has 3 charges against him, as does the owner of the joint. And there's other bong shops that are closing their own doors. They've also been threatened by the police, coming in and saying that if they don't close down, they're going to be next. So this is an orchestrated effort by the police department there to really crack down on the bong stores, which is a crazy thing. They're going after them on paraphernalia laws, saying that these devices are being used for illegal purposes, even though medical marijuana is legal in Canada. And they do have little cards on all the bongs that say, for tobacco use only. Of course, we know that why people really buy them, but still, the Winnipeg Police Department don't really know that, and it'd be damn hard to prove that in court. So there's works now. There's a few people getting together to try and put together a charter challenge. This is a violation of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, so that's the way they're going to try and hit this in court, I think.
Well, I'm glad to hear that they're trying to get a court challenge going against that. I'm wondering, it's funny how this seems to be coming right ahead of the changes to the medical regulations in Canada coming up very soon here.
And it almost seems like the Wild West out in Winnipeg right now, like in Manitoba. Like, that's just crazy that they're going after, for paraphernalia when you've got states that are legalizing. It's just like they're drawing a line in the stand.
We may have lost.
Well, it's funny that we've had these laws against paraphernalia on the books for a long time. Dana Larson, a great writer, former editor of Cannabis Culture, actually wrote an article about this not too long ago, about 8 months ago, for the Vancouver Sun. It got some play. And I guess 8 months ago is when this kind of started, when the Winnipeg Police Department and actually the RCMP had gone after some of these bong places for copyright violation. So what had happened was there were bongs in the windows and stuff that said Heineken or whatever it was on them, or had similarities to their logos. You know how they always do that in the pot T-shirts and stuff.
I remember that, yes.
Yeah, and so, but it's a weird thing for a police department to actually go after somebody for copyright violation. It's a little bit out of their jurisdiction. Usually that would go through a court process where a civil suit would be lodged against somebody. So there's something really wacky going on here.
Well, usually it involves somebody putting in a formal complaint and generating. I mean, cops don't go out of their way to do anything unless somebody tells them to. So, I mean, at some point along the line, something came in and created, a difference in the cops' day, and now they had to go deal with that.
Well, we do know that a lot of these things come about by complaints. Against the, say, dispensaries in Vancouver that have been busted, it's usually a neighbor who complains. So it may be something similar in this case. It does seem a little strange, though, that they've gone after every single bong store all at the same time.
Yeah.
And the charges against Jeremy at Hemp Haven include profiting from the proceeds of crime. So not only the paraphernalia charge, but also making profits from activity.
But
and
because he
got
paid
a charge for obstruct. Sorry, did you say something?
I was just going to say, I know that he paid taxes on his products. Like he was a legal business. So if he's being charged with proceeds, wouldn't our own government be also guilty of that charge? How does that work? I am so confused.
Yeah, that's
the government's happy to take money from the proceeds of crime.
Yeah.
Actually, and this has happened a lot. In fact, Mark Emery paid taxes for years and years and years, and they threw him in prison.
As a
So it doesn't
marijuana
really
seed
matter that-
vendor.
you know.
He wrote right on his tax form, marijuana seed
Right.
vendor, and sent a check. You
Yeah,
know.
Revenue Canada just wants the cash. They don't care.
Yeah.
But now when it comes to the Winnipeg Police Department...
One second, though. More than they don't care, there's actually a thing in our charter that there's a clause that if they give you an onus to, with like, you got to disclose, so you have an obligation to disclose where your income's coming from and how much it was, then you can't have, there can't be a charge for what you disclose, right? So you could, in theory, put hitman on your taxes, right, and say I collected $100,000 a year as a hitman. Clearly, you've been killing people. But they can't use that as evidence to go after you for it. Like, there's a privacy concern there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is no privacy, though, so we...
Any hitman
anymore.
making more than $100,000 a year if you're getting regular work, too. I mean...
So the charges were paraphernalia, proceeds, and what was the other?
The third one was, what was it? A breach of the peace? Or something along those lines. It's because basically what he said was when he was being arrested, or actually after he was arrested and let go, they sent him outside and he asked to come back inside to use the telephone to call a cab. And they said, no, you had your chance. You're out of here. You're not allowed to do anything. And he was standing out there in the cold by himself. They wouldn't allow him to contact a ride. And so he said, as he was walking away, he said under his breath, this is bullshit. And the cop said, what did you say? And so he said it to him louder. He said, man, this is bullshit. And so they grabbed him and started like being very aggressive with him, threw him back in there and said that now he was disturbing the peace.
This is the
So that's a bullshit charge that'll get dropped.
This is the second story out of Manitoba that is like seriously disturbed me recently. There's back a few weeks ago, Mik Mann, he was harassed by RCMP as a medical patient when he did the protest against the MMPR on October 1st. He was picked up by officers. He was harassed. They took his license. They took his meds, and then they refused to return them to him.
Yes.
And completely violated his rights, and have completely given him the runaround. Just him trying to get answers about.
So last 2 minutes, everyone.
It looks like our folks in Winnipeg need some help.
Yeah. All right, Jeremiah, so we got 2 minutes to go. It looks like you're getting ready to hit the bong, so I'm going to bong along with you, brother.
Awesome. Yeah, and Tracy, I was just going to mention, I think you're absolutely right. I think we see that sometimes in these smaller towns, like, say, on the prairies or in other places, we do have, in Canada, it's very strange. The laws seem very different depending on which province you're in. And when it comes to officers' jurisdiction in these cases, it's very varied. Very varied. And here in Vancouver, we can sell marijuana openly 2 times a year in the center square, and the cops shut down the roads and protect us for that. But you got a place like Winnipeg where they're arresting people for bongs. So, I think that with such a large country and so many jurisdictions, some of this is inevitable. It's like the United States. But hopefully, once these stigmas start to be removed, which is happening, they'll get removed from the small towns or the places where there's more conservative attitudes regularly.
All right, man. Well, thanks, Jeremiah. I really appreciate you Skyping in, brother. And we'll hit the bong as we end the show here this week. I want to thank Tracy Curley for coming on and co-hosting with me.
Thank you very much. I just realized we forgot to call for the mothership.
Oh, we forgot the mothership call. Damn.
I don't know if she's still here, but maybe we can close out the show if she
all right.
is.
Shout out to that was awesome for the mothership bringing it down, and unfortunately we didn't get to use that.
Oh well.
And hey, till next time, cultivate your freedom. This is Opus Live, and I appreciate you coming down. Thanks a lot. What's next? Stay tuned for the CK podcast coming up next.